Okay, so it's 2:50 on the 5th. So, and I swear to God, I've been up for hours, and it was on TikTok, and my algorithm is so sucky. I can't even believe it. It is so sucky right now, and but I just saw there's so many fucking weird noises. It's so intense right now, and then I just saw uh, uh Archie's right here. Solo's right here, snoring her head off. Max is over there. But I just saw a video talking about the Schumann resonance, and it's just like total whiteout, and so it's intense. And when I woke up, why I don't remember because I was having crazy dreams, and my nose is itching as shit again. Man, um, God, everything is uncomfortable. Everything is intense. Um, so I was seemed like I was dreaming, but I don't remember if I was already becoming like awake or something. But Stella woke up and she started crying. But it was like I knew she was waking up or something. So I don't know if I was waking up and she was waking up. And then she started crying. So I got up and I went and let her out. I went pee. I went to go lay back down, but I could not go back to sleep. I just kept laying there thinking and thinking and thinking. I don't know. I guess sometimes I'd sit and think about something, like sit and think about the move or whatever, and I'll just fall asleep. But then other times, I have like a tea mustache. I don't know if I'm just seeing things. My my eyes definitely got stuff in it again. But anyways, so I got up to go let her out, and then when I opened the door, there was so much light in the sky. I was like, oh, it's still full moon. Maybe that's why I can't sleep. And then, which I don't know what processed in the moon. The other day, it seemed like it was full. So then I was looking, it's kind of behind the trees, but it looked like it was full and the sky was so lit up. So I was like, okay, it looks like a full moon. And there's all this weird stuff. There's just tons of weird stuff going on. Tons of weird stuff in the sky. Tons of weird stuff in the planet. Tons of everything's weird. And but so I went to go lay back down, and it was just like I could not relax. It was like so intense. I was like, well, fuck. So I got up, and then Stella's up, and so I had 4 cups of tea, and then I was watching videos, trying to see like what's going on in the world. And so there is tons of people talking about Erica because it's weird, but I think the most videos I saw was talking about Taylor Swift. Like, and I don't know what the hell. It seems like this whole album is plagiarized. It seems like she's stolen a whole bunch of different people's songs and then made her own songs, just talking about how cool she is and that her boyfriend has a great big dick. It's like, and everybody's just freaking out. Everybody's like, I don't know. She's gonna probably be canceled before the weekend's over. I don't know. It's like video after video after video, and so I don't know. It just I don't even know. There's even people saying they think her new out because it just dropped. Her album just dropped. It's like everybody's matching the songs up to other songs. Even some singer was matched up to her own song, and so her song was. It's like the whole thing is weird. It's just weird, and why a grown ass adult woman is wanting to go public about her boyfriend's anatomy. Why is it why is it a big thing that everybody needs to be a part of? She does a whole bunch of stuff about it in the song because that just starts people pointing it out all. It's like this is so weird. Everything is so weird. The and the Atlas It's coming in hot. It's like they've moved the date. It's coming in, so it's going to be here in 12 days, if not sooner. So which it's kind of funny too that they made the like if you add up the days, 12 days from now, what number would that be? And it's just kind of a coincidental number that number represents the thing that we're all supposed to be doing, questioning, with a big letter that starts with that word, and questioning everything in our existence in the world. And now they're saying that the Atlas is going to be here that day, which it could be sooner. I mean, who knows what the hell. I haven't seen, I was trying to think if I had seen, because the other day it was just video after video, Nasarkasar, QR, no, what is that? No, XR, yeah, all that stuff. And, but now, let's see, so there's, the Dems were trying to put a stop to the shutdown. Like, it's all such a fucking show. So they were trying to stop to it, so they put in a bill, we'll pass this and we'll come back to work or something. And because they're always trying to look like they're the good guys, but then when you go and look at the bill, it's shenanigans. They want to give like 3-figure amount of money to 3 dead people. We're in Congress, so I don't even know what that's all about. They want to give like $456 million to the banking system in Europe. They want to give more stuff where it's just so obvious that it's all just, it's like, how much more obvious can you get? And so but that's the thing, is how it's got to get more and more apparent, more and more obvious to get some people to hear it. And, but yeah, it's a ridiculous. And and then a bunch of talk about England, and it's not, whatever they're doing, it's the collapse. It's like they are trying, it's like the bad guys are there trying to, it's like the mound, what is that, kind of like the last stand for Custer or something. Like, it's like they've gathered in this area to try and stand, and then they got ours saying, here, we'll send you money. And so it's something, because it has so much to do with the Church and the Crown. And so it is, they've got a strong hold there. And I think that's why they're trying to move so fast on some of this stuff. Because I saw a thing that they were going to start restricting travel for people because of your carbon imprint and stuff. They were putting them, they're ready to go digital, and their IDs and stuff like that. Just all this crazy stuff. So it is. It's so funny too, is because they aren't getting near the amount of poison that we are. Well, I don't think they are. Maybe they're sneaking it in other ways. Another thing, I saw video after video after video, and I guess because I watched one, so I was flooded with them, is the Juro spider. So this ginormous fucking spider, and I guess it can even fly, and it is huge, and it is it's their body. It looks like their body's like about this big, but their legs, they got long ass fucking legs, and they're yellow, and they're kind of like a bee, yellow and black, kind of stripy looking thing. And well, I don't want to say stripes because it's like a bee, like yellow but like black, yellow black, like that. And then it's some spider that came from China or something that came across in the port, and super invasive. And they make humongous webs. They were all over in Atlanta, Georgia or something. And now they're in North Carolina, maybe South Carolina. They're just spreading all over the place. They can spread for like 500 miles. I don't know if they fly 500 miles. The wind carries them, I'm not sure. but they're huge and they're invasive, and everybody's freaking out because they're everywhere. And they make these ginormous webs, and you can go outside and you can look up in the power lines and stuff, and it's just webs and these giant ass spiders everywhere. It's super creepy. But I was thinking, on like the fucking 10th video of it and somebody talking about it, I was like, oh man, I feel like this is kind of like where the government wants to push us to where we're desperate for them to come in and handle it, because then they can come in and just gas us all, just, you know, make more people sick. And, but it's like that they'll just like let things get real crazy so that we become desperate, so that we start begging. And on all the videos, everybody's just, freaking out. Everybody's scared of spiders. Nobody wants them around. And if you walk through their webs, it's hard to get it off of you. But I guess they eat a lot of other bugs. I guess they eat a lot of spiders too. They eat a lot of stuff. And they have a fast metabolism, so they need to eat all the time. And they make these ginormous webs so they can catch tons of stuff. And they've got long ass legs so they can move fast. And they're everywhere. Like this one lady, she was outside of her boyfriend's property, and so they're trying to trim the trees or something. And they're everywhere. And she said, like every few steps, there's one in front of you, crawling on the ground. They're up in the trees. They're everywhere. And so she said they were just out there stomping on them and killing them. And she said they killed like 30 or 40 of them, and they're still everywhere. And which would be freaky, but it's also kind of weird, like, we'll just go out into the where other things live. Like, they don't have any right to live where they live. I mean, one thing if they come in your house, I guess, but still, maybe, scoop them up. And I saw this one lady doing a video, and she's just letting it crawl all over her. And she said the venom, even if they bite you, isn't that bad. It's like a banana spider, which they eat banana spiders. And banana spiders are toxic. And then another spider too. I can't remember what it's called, but it's similar to a banana spider or something. Which I heard of a lady getting bit from a spider that was in banana. This was on one of those shows of like weird deaths, where she brought home bananas and then didn't realize that, and she goes and takes off a banana and there's a spider in there and it bites her and she dies. So I don't know if that's a banana spider. And, which kind of freaks me out. And I was like, I don't want to buy bananas anymore. Everything is just so freaky. This world is so freaky. And this morning while I was sitting here, then here's some mouse over there just scurrying around, building something, doing something. Then I started hearing some over here. It's just like, oh my God, I just feel surrounded. It just feels intense. Everything feels creepy. It's like, I keep hearing noises upstairs. Probably there'll be some pounding outside. It's just like, fuck, man. And then if they're, so on this Atlas thing, these videos are showing that it gets sped up now. Oh yeah, what was there? So was another thing. Oh yeah, because I wanted to say this about that. So out killing the spiders. Well, there's another. I just don't understand, man. Like the disconnect from its reality, like its natural reality, like other living beings. And so in Southern California or something, I think it was, she said she was in, and she's in this area where there's a lot of little white owls, or I don't know what kind of owl, but she said there's tons of them everywhere. And you hear this loud kind of noise, and she said that noise is these men who are making that noise to draw the owls out of their nest. And it's a time when all the owls have babies in their nest, and they're trying to draw the owls out of their nest so that they can do them in. And I I was under the impression we weren't supposed to kill those. But apparently, when the government says, oh, we got too many, so go have fun, then yeah, it's like, how can you legitimately, like, this murder and mayhem, it just gets weirder and weirder and weirder. It's like, God damn. And then the people who, some fucking poison. Then the people who are into the dog rescue stuff, they're starting to get real. I mean, they're beginning to lose it. And to me, it's like, it's so fucking simple. One of the fucking simple things is we gotta close all the fucking kill shelters. Close the motherfuckers down. If you think it's okay to kill animals, then just close down. We gotta move beyond this. This is getting out of hand. I mean, hundreds and hundreds a day. And then to know how corrupt the whole thing is. It just is disgusting. And then to even think, you're putting this poison into these animals, and then you are selling them for food. Like that, what the, Jesus Christ. But the people are really beginning to lose it because of how much they're seeing all the time of all of this murder and mayhem just nonstop in these places. And these counties that just keep getting away with it, they don't even try. And trying to get people to foster, adopt. And there's still, breeders everywhere. And I'm guilty of, like, I sit here and see these puppies that are English Mastiffs, and it's like, oh. And I know that there's still English Mastiffs that end up in the shelters and rescues and stuff. People don't feel committed to their pets. They don't, she said the amount of people coming in and just giving their pets to shelters, and the shelters are just doing them in. They don't mess with them. And and then, when you're trying to foster, like, I've already fostered two and ended up adopting them. Well, and I had a third one too, and then that one died, but I was going to adopt that one too. It's like, I mean, once you've filled your house, I mean, how many dogs can we have? It's like, some people, they just want to keep, I mean, I'm going to have 4 here in another week or two. No, next weekend, I'm going to have 4 dogs. And, and still, that one is also, I mean, because that one was a dog she found on the side of the highway. It was just running down the highway. And so she rescued it and did all the stuff, but it was pregnant too. And so, I'm trying to help her. And also, it was, I swear, it was like I manifested this dog anyways. Because it was kind of certain things that I would picture in my mind. Like, I would see things and be like, oh, I like a dog like that. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, I like this kind of dog. Oh, and I kept, like, putting it together in my mind. And then I go there, and she had been talking, because I had been twice, and she had been talking about this dog that she'd rescued. And I just was like, oh, that's so nice, that you kept him, because so many people find dogs like that and they just drop them off at the shelter. They don't be bothered with them. And I was like, that's so nice. And she's like, she feels like it's a spirit animal. It came to her, which I think that is true, that the people don't realize when a dog comes to you, what's the chances of that? It's like winning the lottery. It found you. It's like destiny. It's fate. And then you ignore fate and destiny, and you just go drop it somewhere at a shelter and say, here, I can't deal with it. And when you don't know what it's going to bring to your life, you don't know how much joy or whatever it's going to bring to you, the things. So anyways, then the second time when I was there, and she was showing pictures of the puppies, and that's where I was like, oh, so cute. And then when I saw those blue eyes, it's the blue eyes, it was just like and I was like some of these spotted dogs like that. And so the color and the blue eyes, I was like, oh, that's just like what I was manifesting that I would like to have. And even though I really love English Masters, and if I get settled, I mean, once I get settled and I have my own space and it's all situated, then I feel like I would want to have a couple of English Mastiff, dogs that like are my guard dogs. They're my patrollers. They watch over things. Because there's all sorts of dogs that people get to watch over their like farms or whatever. But I think I would prefer English Mastiffs because I just really like their personalities and stuff. And they are intimidating and they are protective, but you'd have to, like, if you want them to be protecting your animals, like you have goats and all that stuff, you would have to make sure, I think, that you had them as puppies being around them so that they would learn to they wouldn't come in as like, because I'm trying to take in an adult dog and then saying, here's some old chickens, go protect them, and here's some goats, go protect them. I think it would be more foreign to them. They'd either want to, I don't know. I just think that you've got to kind of train them from the get-go on what their job is. And so if it's not their, like, still would probably chase them. And so it wouldn't be the same. But anyways, that's what I would, in my manifestation world that I'm creating, that, yeah, I would have my acreage and I would have my garden, I have my studio, I have my area where I have animals, and then I think, having more dogs would be feasible. But yeah, it's so crazy how it just seems to like it's like this part of society collapses and it falls on this part. It's like the givers and the takers. But the takers or the givers have to learn boundaries. And like, you can't save the world. You can't make everything better. You can't fix everything for everybody. And so there's some things where you have to just let it go. You just got to be like, well, I mean, like I said, how many dogs can you foster? How many dogs can you adopt? Yeah, I'd love to. It's sad too when you see, I mean, their eyes, they'll have souls looking out. Like, and I know that a lot are here to just play this part in this world right now as it collapsed, to show humanity how far it has gone, how disconnected it is from life and the purity of existence, and that it's so self-consumed with like self-gratification, this consumerism, this consumption of trying to fulfill something inside of you. It's like one thing I see a lot of is, and I am guilty of it too. So, I mean, I was a workaholic, but I was also a shopaholic. If I was having a bad day, let's go shopping. You're gonna get a supercharge. You're gonna be like, oh, I feel much better now. so then, so I get it, but it's becoming more and more clear that how people use, that to go out and make themselves feel better, but it doesn't permanently fill you up. It's, you run out again. So it may give you like a little supercharge of dopamine, a little hit, but then you run out and it gets depleted again. And then you're always looking for another hit, something to make you feel good. And we're so revolving around money, and somehow money making us feel better. We can go spend it, we can do this, we can do that, so money has become like the god of making us feel better. And that is a big thing to have to break free from, to be like, no, I'm not going to use this stuff to go and fulfill a part of me that needs to be filled up that has not to do with money. It has to do with, I don't know, I think um, doing things that just make you feel more fulfilled is doing nice things for people. But then you can't get caught in that. Everything takes balance, because you can't go out and just do nice things for people trying to fill yourself up, because at some point you'll just deplete yourself, because it can go in a really toxic form if you use it to like, well, I'm gonna go do this and this and this and this and this. You know, you got to find balance. You got to do things for yourself, give back to yourself, and then also you have to be able to receive, you know, with somebody doing something nice for you. And that also takes, I don't know, I think I would still say that takes healing, because you have to feel that you deserve things. And a lot of people don't feel like that they deserve things. And that's why, like, I can see it, but I don't know how to explain it. But it's like, you don't feel like you deserve things, but then you go out and you do something nice for somebody, and then they make you feel good. And then, so you feed off of that kind of thing, even though it's not really getting you to feel like you're worthy or like you're a good person or something. It's like using someone else's energy, kind of. It's like this, it's kind of like an energy vampire, because you are using other people's energy to try and build up your own instead, and it doesn't sustain you. It's just like you need one hit after another, after another, after another. And that isn't that isn't feeding your, it's not giving yourself boundaries. It's not putting balance into your life. It's very toxic to just, and I think that is what happens to a lot of do-gooders too. A lot of people who just want to go out there and do good in the world, and they get so consumed by it, but it ends up draining them rather than fulfilling them. I think it starts out, it's weird because how many things are kind of like the same thing as drugs, is because I think it starts out is like it feels good and you feel like you are doing something good in the world, it's working, but then after a while, oh, it's kind of like you yourself. So it's you yourself, or the universe, or however you want to look at it, that when you start indulging in something that's not good for you, it's going to start not giving back what it is that you are looking for. And that is a sign, is that you, is not the universe isn't failing you, it is you are indulging in something too much, that you are getting out of balance, and that you have got to step back and find other things to fulfill you, so you become more well-rounded, so that you are more than just one thing. You're not just this or just that. You're a bunch of different things. And so when you are just putting all your energy into these things, that's probably one reason why some of these girls now are having melting down. Like, it's just too much. You know, they're out there trying to save the world. They're out there trying to do all this. And it's good. It's a good cause, trying to save things from being killed. But and you can't do it alone, but you can't put all your time and effort into it, because then it will consume you. Like, I can kind of see it is like, you know, if I took me as an example, and I foster these ones, and then, you know, because it's just these constant. And so then you see the videos more, and there's more little sweet eyes everywhere looking at you. And you want to save them all. So then foster another, foster another, foster another. You know, pretty soon, like, I have 12 dogs and I'm drowning and I can't keep up, because I see these videos all the time. Oh my God, all the time. And I'm just constantly like, how are you getting into this? Because then it kind of shifts into, well, I'm a rescue. No longer am I just a foster, I'm a rescue. And then they get more than they can handle, and then they can't keep up. Then they can't feed them. Then they're desperate online looking for donations and saying that all the dogs are going to be euthanized, all the cats are going to be euthanized, the horses are going to be euthanized if somebody doesn't do something to help them feed these animals. So at some point they're like chasing this thing to do good. Then they're kind of indulging into it, give me more, but they're not considering where they're going with it to the point where then they're drowning in it. And I think along the way that you are receiving signs from yourself that you are ignoring, that you need to find balance, because I could see how I could do that, but I will sit and look more like mindfully, or look at it more deeper and look at like what would the future look like, if I took in another and another and another, which is hard, especially when I see English Mastiff ones. It's like, oh. But then I also know, because I did adopt an English Mastiff, or not an English Mastiff, it was, wasn't a Cane Corso, it was, I can't think of what it's called. There's another Mastiff, but she was so pretty too. She looked like gray suede, and she had blue eyes, and she was really pretty. And which is so crazy too, because everywhere I go, people will like pull over to tell me how beautiful Stella is. She's so pretty. And I mean, she's a showstopper when she walks around, because she's so big and she's just cute as can be. She's really cute. And so when I would go out with Millie, everybody was like, oh my God, nobody, I mean, I was constantly getting told how beautiful Millie was. And it was all of a sudden like, nobody was saying anything about Stella. And I was like, so weird. But she was really pretty. But she wouldn't have quit attacking Stella. No matter what stuff I was doing, she was attacking Stella just out of the blue. And I just kind of couldn't take it. But, Stella's like my little baby. And she wasn't just being, like play fighting. She was drawing blood. She was ripping Stella up. And, I felt really bad, but I had to take her back. I just didn't know what to do. And when you adopt, you have to sign all these papers. I mean, it's kind of in the thing. You can't just give them away or sell them to somebody or something. You're supposed to bring them back. So anyways, I had to take her back because she just wouldn't stop. And but the thing is like having a really big dog fight in your house. So then when I think about rescuing some of these other English Mastiffs, it's like, fuck, man. You don't know what their life has been. You don't know what triggers them. And Stella's personality, if it triggers them. Yeah, even Max and Stella have been getting in fights the past few days. And I don't know if it's just the intensity. I don't know if it's because they both don't feel good, because Max seems like he doesn't feel good. Stella, she goes, like yesterday I said, oh, she's doing really good. And then she turns back around and just whine and whine and whine. Like she's totally uncomfortable. He just keeps laying there and just being quiet. Like, oh, I just don't want to do anything. Everybody just leave me alone. And so I don't know. But then she keeps being really snappy to him, but especially around food. And so anyways, but yeah, having a big dog, because even this one, she'll be raised by Stella, and I think she'll be more submissive to Stella. I don't know. I mean, at some point she could become, she's still going to be smaller than Stella, but at some point she could become more aggressive and be like, you're no longer the alpha. But I don't know. Hopefully that doesn't go. Boys don't usually do that to girls, but since she's a girl, I'm just hoping that she it isn't like that, as that was horrific when it was going down with Millie. But this one's coming in as a puppy, so I'm just hoping that just can create a happy little family. My mom has, she does all these rescue where she ended up being like somebody who's taking, like, this neighbor's moving away. And it's crazy. People give away dogs that they've had for 9 years, 12 years. It's just like, here, I don't want him anymore. And so she's had to bring girls, different girls. She's got a whole bunch of girls that had to come into the same group, and they aren't attacking each other all the time, even though the one of them did. So the tiniest one, the little tiny one I've showed before, she got bit the other day over food, and she got hurt. But normally they don't, so I'm just hoping for the best. I don't know. You just never know what to expect. I swear to God, anything's gonna happen. You know, but one thing is when anything happens, it's happening for you. It's because it's meant to happen for you. It's meant to be the way it is, because everything is fate and destiny. And so whatever happens is supposed to happen. And it's whatever challenges you have are what you're supposed to meet. So it makes you think or figure things out and stuff. But anyways, I've just noticed, that there's this kind of wanting to save the world, and then I've noticed this constantly looking for a charge outside of themselves, and to not do those things, I think you got to find balance. You can't just go out and be like, put all your time and energy into something and not give anything to yourself back, because you really are giving to all different people all the time. And it's going to drain you, even though it starts out fulfilling you. And so the thing with that is just like finding things to balance yourself, giving yourself a break, giving yourself like, and then when you see the dark side, then it's like, then you start carrying guilt. Like, you can't save them all. You've seen all these beautiful dogs. Oh, that one was so sweet. Now it's dead. Like it can consume you. And some of this stuff is like, fuck, man. I don't know. And it's an individual thing right now too, of what it is you're here to go through. So I don't know. It seems, as an outsider looking in, that it would be that you need to find a way to disconnect, to not be so consumed by it, and then to be able to give back to yourself through, I don't know, to me, like I think of it being like more time to yourself. But a lot of people don't really like that. Man, it's crazy how many people don't. So weird too, because when I was younger, I was married all the time, and get married and then be another one, ready to get married. It was just like, she'd go through one door and do another door and do another door and do another door. And certain people, especially my sister, but I know she wasn't the only one, it would say, like, oh, you just can't be alone. Like, they're trying to psychoanalyze me. You just can't be alone. It's like, well, I think I can be alone. I don't think that's what it has to do with. I don't know. I mean, my dark side definitely was, well, it was like more than one thing. One of the things was I had a really hard time saying no. Really hard time saying no. And I didn't want to hurt people's feelings. If they want to go out with me, well, okay, we'll go out. I mean, it took me a long time to be able to say, no, I don't want to go out with you. And then, so having boundaries, which that was a really hard thing for me. And then the, what is it? Because I could see it a second ago. The not being able to say no. Oh, and the other dark side of me was looking for, it was like I was looking for the love for me outside of me. So in these people who want to be with you, they're like, oh, I love you, you're the greatest, oh, you're so wonderful, I love you so much. And then So feeling like that was, like showing me some kind of a love or something, because I didn't love myself. I didn't have good boundaries. And so it was just like this toxic thing, like of trying to, but it wasn't like I couldn't be alone. It didn't seem like that to me. And then once the cycles ran out, and it was just like I had to be hit so hard with so many things to bring me down, to get me to stop cycling. And then once I stopped, and then I felt, to me, it was like I was on a ride for my whole life, and I just got pushed off when number 4 left me. Then I was just like being pushed off the ride. And then that's when I had to reevaluate. And I was like, and I could see, it was like being outside of the ride. It was like I was on the ground, and this merry-go-round was going around and around and around. And I could see my cycles. I could see this part of myself that I hadn't seen before. And I was like, a big thing was like, I was fucking miserable. I was miserable in that relationship. And why wasn't I the one leaving? Why was I putting up with that? And then you have to go through all of the answers. I didn't want to get divorced again. I didn't want to be in I was full of insecurities. They tell me couldn't drive. It was right after my brain injury. So I was a wreck anyways. But I had to go through and look at all of these parts of myself and see myself through, it's like through an observation, through observing myself, because I was off the ride. I was looking up at what it was that I had kept myself going in, relationship after relationship after relationship. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me, even though it was so difficult at the time. It was like so hard. But I've been single that whole time, ever since then. So this is 10 years now. I don't know the exact anniversary date or something, but it was like 2015. I think it was more like March of 2015. So I think I mean, now 2025 is almost over. So 10 years I've been single, and it's been great. It hasn't been horrible. It hasn't been, I don't even find it really lonely. Sometimes I feel like even when people are wanting something from you, it feels like it's draining. And it's, I don't know, there's something very self-indulgent about being alone. It's very like you're just given to yourself all the time. And one thing though, because I do see a lot of people online, like I just saw a video talking about this. This is one of the things that's on my mind, is this girl just got divorced, and she's like, the worst part, where I'm the loneliest is at night. It's like, man, things get so much better. But also though, I'm not alone. I do have companionship, and I do have things to do. I do have, because I have the dogs, so I have companionship. But there's a lot of people who don't even look at animals as companions. They don't look at it the same way. And I do think, like, if Stella were to pass, I would be devastated. I'll be a fucking mess, because she is my companion. We've been together this whole time, because I got her way back then when all of that was going down. Well, I had Lucy first, and then Lucy died, and I got Stella a few months later, I think 6 months later. But that is so we've been best friends now for this whole time. And so yeah, by losing my best friend, I would, I think I'm gonna fall apart for sure. So I don't think of myself as being alone, because I have so much companionship. So, and even before I had these two, I had Winston. And then I was taking care of my daughter's dog for a while. I had Mickey too, but Mickey, now he lives upstairs with my mom, because he's just a little guy. And I've been going and walking him in the mornings. He's gotten so old, he can't see good. He's such a stubborn little fucker. And but he does not like big dogs. at all. And it, the thing when I had him is I asked mom if she would take him for a while, because he had this uh, issue with his back where he was just chewing his thing out of like nerves or something, and the treatments were horrible, and the medicine and all that stuff, and it was like an inflammation or whatever that he's never had again since he came to be around all the little dogs. Because the big dog stressed him out, and he's very like, he doesn't want to be bothered. He don't want to play. He wants nothing to do with them. So he's like, irritable. Like he's very much a lone wolf. Even upstairs with the other ones, he's not like hang out with them or anything. Now he's just old too, and so he doesn't really want to play or anything. But even when he would play, he would just play by himself. He didn't really want to be bothered with other dogs. But he does not like big dogs, and that stressed him out so much. But then when I started saying, well, I'll take him back, then she's like, oh, I really like him. He's happy here. And every time I would come to visit her, and he would be like barking, like he would be like, well, aren't you taking me? I'd be like, well, maybe I should take him. And then him and Stella would always be like, get into a thing, and she'd be like, no, just keep him here. So, anyways, but now he's a little old man. And, because he was like, I don't know, I think he was like 6, because I rescued him, so I never knew his age. It's like the same with Max. Like I have more idea of Archie's age, even though the weirdest thing is that the lady was like, she wasn't sure how old her own dog was, but she knew he was young. Um, but since he's a surrender, then I have more of an idea of his age. But Max was just found in the streets, so no idea. And it was the same with Mickey. Mickey had been through so many different homes. He was just passed around. I saw him on Facebook. I was like, oh, I'm going to go get him. And so I went and got him, but yeah, nobody knew his stuff. And then you go and ask the vet, and they're always vague. Well, I don't know. I would say he could be 4, he could be 6. So it was the same with what they've said on both of them. So, anyways, I don't remember what I was talking about with all that. Oh, companionship. And so, anyways, but so I don't feel like I've been just alone, and I, but I feel that like I don't need somebody to come in and fulfill me. Like I don't know. It's like back more when I was more toxic, I would say. There was more of a need. You needed to talk to somebody about this, or if this was bothering you, you needed to talk about it. And I never did a lot of gossiping and stuff like that. And so it was more of that kind of thing, which I see people around doing that stuff now. Like, oh, I've got this problem, that problem, just want to talk about their problems all the time. Like that is, I mean, I did the same thing, but I mean, there's people doing it, but I see what helped me do it was healing. And so I know other people can heal, and then they won't have that same thing of like, but I don't know, right now, it's like if you're not working on yourself, if you're not working on your healing and trying to get better, you're getting way worse. It's like it's like it is really going a different direction. It's like a drug addict just doing more and more drugs. It's like you're just looking for another hit and another hit and another hit. So it's going. It's like you got to be going in the direction of trying to contemplate yourself, trying to understand yourself, uh, trying to grow or elaborate or do better for yourself. Because if you're not, and you're just indulging in your toxic behaviors are becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. just like the information coming in is getting more and more ridiculous, you become more and more ridiculous to yourself by your stuff. It's like taking you over. So it's like it becomes more and more apparent that you need to step back and take notice of yourself and see, like, I need to change these behaviors. I need to look at things different. I need to, you know, everything to me is about healing and growing. That's what helped me. 'Cause that is where, when I fell off the ride, when I was shoved off, and I just sit there, it felt like in my head, I was sitting on the ground, and I felt hurt. Like I felt like my knees were skinned up, and I felt hurt. And I was looking up at the ride, and I was seeing it going, and I was seeing all of this stuff play out about me and my own cycles and my patterns and stuff. And then in the contemplation of having to look at it or consider myself was that's what led me into the dark night. That's what led me into this being engulfed by these toxic behaviors. But that is where you start going back into them and you start feeling like there's reasons why you have toxic behaviors. There's reasons you are the way you are. And so when you can heal those things just start going away. You start feeling better. You start feeling better. And then the universe or your higher self or however you want to look at it starts testing you. So things start coming into your world. When you start healing, you start getting challenge after challenge after challenge. And in my challenges, I would go to my guides and be like, what the hell? I thought I was doing good. And then they would be like, oh yeah, but look at this. You need to work on this. How's this making you feel? And then the biggest one too was the boundaries thing, which I've talked about so many times. But because I would heal I thought I was doing real good on the boundaries. And then it would be another thing that would come in. I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me? And so each one would get harder. It was like another level in the game. So each challenge would get more difficult, more difficult. And you can't go to the most difficult until you've done the other ones. So it was layers of these challenges. And it would be the same thing that I would be working on over and over and over, where you start feeling like, oh my God, you can start feeling like you're drowning and healing, but it's really, you're you're going and you're matching the challenges. It's like you're overcoming these, and then you go and everything's going good, and then you'll come to another one and everything's going good and come to another one. It's not just this non-stop, like every single day is challenging. It's like you have periods of time where it feels like, yeah, now everything's going good, but then the challenge will sneak back in on you. And sometimes they can be hard to recognize when they come in. And it may take a couple times before you start realizing, like, oh, I need to work on this. I need to not just do this. I need to figure out, where I fit into this, how I want to maneuver this, a lot of it seems to me is like where you end and where this begins, finding the boundary of you. And so that is boundaries to me is a big one. That is a big one that I came into work on from the whole beginning of this time on earth. And I've come a long ways with it. So I feel like I'm doing well, but there's always more challenges. I mean, I could go through the list, but I've gone through it as they came because I've been talking about this for years. But anyways, the the whole thing, like when the girls was like, being lonely and stuff. I mean, you got to process through what it is, but you definitely don't want to just go out and find somebody to just try and fill that need. You want to heal these parts of you, not just put band-aids on it. It's kind of like we're taught to just put band-aids on things. That is even how the solutions are with their medical solutions. which I just, another person with an issue. And I say, try this, try this, try this. And then it's like, oh no, I'm getting the surgery. You know, they're gonna, yeah, they've got it handled for me. It's like, well, I don't even know. I mean, people are uh, so against like natural things. Like you could just drink some tea and take care of this. You could do a lot of things to take care of this. Not go get surgery, but everybody just wants this quick. Nope. The doctor, they got it figured out. They'll do it. I don't need to do that. That's not going to do any good. They didn't tell me if it did. I'm like, well, you know, if you were in conspiracy land, you would know that they aren't taught to teach you that because the people who make money off of the system don't make money off of you going and drinking some tea. So, yeah, that's not the way it goes. You may want to think it would be in your fantasy land, but that's not how it works. So, anyways, it's just one after another after another. It's the craziest thing. It's like people are so anti natural stuff. I mean, they're totally anti it. Like, they don't see the purpose of it. Nothing. And it has no side effects. It has, I don't know. It's just weird. And there's another thing too I was thinking about that I was thinking was weird. There's so many weird things. That, but anyways, this weird thing on this Atlas thing. So this video I saw yesterday, because there's a lot of people who are focused on it. So sometimes it will get into my algorithm and I'll see a bunch of videos about it. And there's actually some people who think it's all a lie, that they just do not believe in anything else. But there's no freaking alien. Like, God, it's the weirdest thing to just believe in nothing but I don't even know. I don't even know how they've got some people's minds so closed. So the but so these organizations, like an NASA, that they've been making a big deal about it. And I think more than just them have been making a big deal about this thing coming. And and so they had on all this radar and cameras and footage or whatever. I don't know, a whole bunch of stuff. And people have been watching it and watching it. Well, so they were expecting it to be here in November or something, which I thought that was even sped up. I don't even know when they very first found it. It just seems like it just keeps going faster and faster. But so then they did a whole thing showing that it suddenly picked up speed, and it wasn't just random. It was very intentional, and it didn't go, it moved with intention through the atmosphere, changing speeds and making turns. And so it was like putting the gas on, like, we're coming for you. And but the thing is, it's got like, I swear to God, if they said that number again, but now I'm thinking, did they say 17 little things behind it? This stuff is so weird. I don't know, maybe it was 14, but I don't know why all of a sudden I heard it was there's 17 things behind it. And so it has all these other things behind it, and they all sped up when that sped up. So it all kept going all together at the same speed. So if the Atlas sped up, all the little things sped up behind it, which they're saying is a big fleet. So it's like a big giant mothership and a fleet coming behind it. And it all sped up and started going real fast, where it said that it would be like it crossed across all of America in like 20 seconds or something. It was going so fast out there. And now it's past Mars. I don't even know, because the whole thing, the whole solar system thing is all bullshit. And the light years away thing is more of a vibrational tone. So it's, I don't know. They measure things weird. They measure time weird. Everything's just this weird world that they created. But the but anyways, it sped up, and so it zipped up, and so then they said, now the expectation of the date that's going to be here is 10/10/1725, and so, which today's the 5th, so 12 days from now, which I was thinking they could make it way quicker. Like, it could be here, if it keeps speeding up. I mean, it made a whole speed up the other day, and then it moved up its ETA like by 3 weeks or something. So if it does another little jolt in the speed, it could be here tomorrow. Like, who knows? But they keep continuing to make a big thing about this, and I don't know if it's going to be, because they've said things already, like the Anunnaki. They've said that they've made contact, and that they are coming in aggressively and all this stuff. Which, to me, if they try and pull off or try and put out that there is aliens coming in aggressively, that to me shows that they are going to do their big the invasion. They're going to make a big spectacle, but it wouldn't be real, because I know that that we are under the hostile control already, and it's not more hostile coming out to fight the hostile to have control. No, it's like, no, this is way more about either they're coming to scare us, to get control over us, and so that we submit, out of fear, or that the ones that are coming is to expose the truth, so that we see what the world is, to cause a rift in our reality, to rip things open so that we see the truth, because of how long we've been fooled. Because you got people out there who think like there's nothing in the world, there's nothing beyond this, and be self-indulgent. You want to go out and kill owls, go shoot owls. You want to go kill deers, go kill whatever you want to go out and do, just go slaughter. Nothing matters. But the dark side of that stuff is going to be when they start coming out with what's in the food. There's just more of the dark side of this place is going to keep being exposed. But it's the counterbalance to the consumption of the humans just consume its own world. It's like it's so disconnected. And so there's a dark side to that disconnect that we're going to have to see or experience or whatever. So I don't know. But today, hopefully, we will hear something about this money situation, but I don't know. I mean, it could literally go weeks more. Like, I don't know how much longer it could go. I mean, it could go fucking years more. Like, I don't know how long they're going to drag this out. It's already been dragging out to me since 2020. So, I mean, it's already 2025 is almost over. So I never thought it would go this long. So every time something comes up, it's like, oh, maybe this is it. Maybe this is really it. Look, there's a lot of evidence. Like, and there does seem to be a lot of things going. And so, and Donald, I mean, he put that thing out the other day about the med beds and stuff. So it does seem like they are trying to, and there is so many people sick. Like, they do need to start doing something. Something needs to shift. And so, and whatever the people, that can't catch on, though, they're going to have to just catch on. They're going to, if they shift and take us in another direction, then it's going to have to be like and they still look at things just super kooky. I heard one this morning where it was, they just everything that they just look at it super backward. Everything he does, they think it's all super negative, which I also heard that they were shutting down Alligator Alley. So they aren't going to even have it anymore, which I thought they were going to load it up with politicians. So I don't know. And then also Harry's sitting there saying about Ellen, she's one of the good guys or whatever. But then there's videos of her out now where she's aged a whole bunch. And that whole theory behind this rapid aging is because they haven't been able to get the elixir, because that has been interfered with stopping all of this uh, industrial trade system of human properties. And so the people who were living off of that they are now aging faster. Ugh. There's a whole thing too with that, what Harry's saying about like Wilson, which that Wilson on the ball in the movie with Tom, that was a representation of what happens when you take the skin off of somebody's face, which I don't think that the insurance policy is the only video that shows that being done to somebody. And so I don't even know. And then once the whole thing happened where supposedly Tom was arrested in Australia when he had the sickness, and then because supposedly now he's living in Greece, and but when he got the sickness and he was there, supposedly really he was arrested. Like there was different footages and stuff going around of them getting him at the airport. And then there was a whole bunch of stuff. I don't remember all the stuff. These signs from like military were putting out these weird these weird comp kind of things, to show this or that. And then you had all these people like deciphering what it was saying. And to me, it seemed like, well, that was the takedown of Tom. Like that was the end of him. And then the word on the street was he was so bad that they couldn't. There was some people that they just couldn't even deal with. And not only did that one girl say she was sold to him when she was little, but Cappy, he said a whole bunch of stuff. And then there's videos now where people are showing like Cappy is really a child of the Roth or a feller that rocks. I don't know. I mean, some of these people with this, I don't even fucking know, man. So, but then when Tom was taken, and then all these celebrities were like, where's Tom? Did they get Tom? Oh, and all this stuff. Like they were saying all this weird stuff online. And Ellen did a bunch of weird videos during that time. She did so many weird videos. But she had that face on a t-shirt. The same Wilson on a t-shirt. And then I think on her shirt it said something, run, Forrest, run, or something. And so Harry was laughing. Oh, you guys think that was just all, that wasn't part of the show? They weren't trying to show what they do with these kids and stuff? So, I don't know. Like all in how you perceive. Because they definitely perceived that they weren't trying to show us about that. It was showing that they were involved with that. But he's saying no, they were trying to show us what that was. So I don't know. It's very curious now to me over a lot of this stuff of what's going to be exposed through all of this, and who is the good guys and who is the bad guys. Because this thing with Erica is so weird, and people are going so in on that whole thing. There's so much weirdness about it. So much weirdness with her. So much weirdness about the whole Charlie thing. So much weirdness about just everything. Everything out there right now is just weird. I think that is one of the things that really push you into observation. And when you are just observing all the weird shit and trying not to get too hung up in it, try not to get too tore up, try not to get too fearful, and and then on top of it, trying to stay positive and going towards your best manifestations, to keep looking at, what do you want from your life, and what things do you want, how do you want to live, and be focusing on that. But the thing is that you do have to be focusing on your healing. And I swear to God, so much stuff is about the distraction, is to keep these distractions going, because that is the most important thing, is um, is you, healing you. And there's one guy who I saw, like, I've seen a whole bunch of his videos now talking about this money thing, and he's saying that it's about to change, but he goes so in on the star seeds, the light workers, the magas, the Jesus people, like all these certain groups of people, the chosen, like he's got all these labels of these certain people that are going to be, it's like it's very super hierarchy. Like there was even a part where he was sitting there saying, where it sounded like he was saying only 8% of the people are going to be living in abundance, and everybody else is just going to be like the nothings. I don't know, maybe I was misunderstanding him or something. It's like, that is not how I see it at all. Like, I definitely see that there's going to be a group of people who have been focusing more on what you should have been focusing on, which to me seems to be about your health, your mental health, your spiritual health, your physical health, so your mind, body, spirit. And in the spiritual, you can recognize the depth to what is happening and disconnect from the feelings of being consumed by this world, because it is consuming you. It's the micro macro. It's consuming you, and you're consuming it, and it's the snake eating its own tail. And so, but when you pull free from the system and all, start breaking down the programs, then you start having to, initiate a new version of you. So you have to focus on bringing it forward. And so it changes your focus from all of the drama in the world to, who are you in this world? What are you representing? Who do you want to be? And so many people have such a lack of integrity. Like, I swear to God, I think some people don't even know what it is. And to me, it is like living your truth. It's like being authentic and real to your soul, not just, well, they want this from me, so I'm going to do that, even though inside of me it feels like it's wrong. I'm still going to do it. It's like overriding your system of your morals and stuff, and doing whatever, like, oh, I'd rather have the money than have the morals. I'd rather have the morals than have the money. And so to me, that is, we live in a world where people prioritize the money over morals, and so that's a lack of integrity. And so, anyways, you have to be able to go in and understand yourself, and, be more pure of heart, and grow those sides of yourself through the storm, through the turmoil. And that will also give you value to yourself, but it will also get you to see your own worth. And so it is productive. So when things start changing, I think there's going to be, I do think there's definitely going to be this swift change where it's going to seem like there's a lot of people that are going to be like seeming like they're doing really good. It's like, man, their things are going really good for them. And I think it does have to do with, being in the right thing, but it's also a role, because it's not like everybody's supposed to do that. There's certain people that were supposed to do that because that's their role, and the other people weren't supposed to do that. So you wouldn't be punished because you didn't do it. It would be in that. Then the way I see it is that the people who do it, it's because they are to become the the light, to show the light at the end of the tunnel. So when other people are looking, trying to figure things out, they can see something up there. Like, well, that person figured this out and they went in this direction. It seems like it's a good direction to go, which would be about, I don't know, because it's being open minded, it's being truthful, it's being authentic, it's having good boundaries, it's being vulnerable, it's healing yourself, it's opening your mind, it's being compassionate, it's being forgiving. It's like these certain things, and they've been like the lost art of living. And so when people came here to bring it back to life, they came here to play a role so that it could make a shift in the world. So it's not like that they are better than other people and they figured it out and the other people couldn't. It's like that's the way it's supposed to go. And it could be because they did a lot of bad things before, and in their karma, they had to go through a lot of things to get them to go into this direction, so that they were breaking out of the karma that they had before. And that's how life really works. So, but when I hear these people get all so like in this hierarchy of being like, I'm better than them, we're better than them, and they're NPCs, and we're chosen, we're the winners and they're the losers. It's like, that's not what it's about. So when you hear people saying stuff like that, that's not what it's about. But there is going to be this shift where it is going to be a big shift where things are going to turn. And it's like, to me, the people who are super uncomfortable in this world, they are and they're focused on the other world. Like they're focused on the flip side. They're focused on the other side of the coin. They're focused on what's real. That when the things flip, that they're going to become more comfortable. They're more uncomfortable now, but they're going to become more comfortable. And the people who are comfortable in this world are going to become very uncomfortable. So they're going to need people to lead the direction of where to go. But it all has to do with way more of like cycles and roles and fate and destiny and karma and reincarnation. It's not this other weird thing where I hear people talking on this level of hierarchy of that people are better than other people and these people just can't figure it out. These people can't wake up. You're going to wake up when you're supposed to wake up. Whatever situation happens that's supposed to wake you up, you'll wake up. And whatever, everything will happen naturally. You don't have to go and force things. Things will happen naturally. The best thing to do, though, is to become aware, because that's one thing that you can have happen is you wake up and then you look back and you think, oh, that person told me this, that person told me that. And you start putting the pieces together and you start seeing, oh, there was things I was ignoring. I wasn't listening to this. I wasn't paying attention to that. I should have heard this. And then you start noticing those, and then you're like, well, why wasn't I? Why didn't I hear this? Why wouldn't I listen to that? That's where you got to go break yourself down. You got to see. A lot of it has to do with biases, arrogance, ego. So you were doing it to yourself. You were not listening. You were ignoring things. You were not paying attention. But that's your lessons. It's not because you failed. It's not because you didn't do it right. It's because you had lessons to learn and you were ignoring these certain signs. And then once you get to that point, then the lessons come. And then you're like, the things that you need to see and the things you need to break down about yourself will become quite apparent. But it all depends on how you look at it. And when you are not capable of looking at it the way you need to look at it, it only is because you got to go through more experiences so that you're able to start looking at things in a way. It's not, nothing has to be forced. It's like we're still in this world where people think that everything needs to be forced and everything is a competition and a quick fix, and put a band-aid on it. It's like, it still is a very odd perception of how people exist in this world. So, but everything should be more natural. It should feel natural, and no matter what it is, you didn't do it wrong. You did it when you're supposed to do it. You can't do anything outside of your own timeline. You can't do something ahead of when you were going to do it. You can't do something after you were going to do it. You're always going to do it when you were going to do it. It all happens naturally, all on its own. There's nothing you need to do. And that's something I got to remind myself all the time. Like when I get just consumed by this move, and like right now, like another thing will come in on the money thing, another thing will come in. I'll be like, oh my God, I'll sit there and try and add up my money and add up my money. It's like, fuck, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And it's just like, and I have to remind myself, okay, it gets done. Whatever is meant to be is meant to be. Whatever happens, happens the way it's supposed to happen. So there's nothing that I need to sit here and stress out about, like, how will I do it? How will I do it? How will I do it? How am I going to do it? You don't have to do that. But it's easy to get caught up in that. I do it all the time. I swear to God, yesterday, I think for hours, I sat there going over, moving numbers, moving this number, moving that number. Well, I could cut a little here. Well, if I do this, it's like, fuck, man. And anything can change at any moment. Like I'm sitting here spending hours doing that, and then Monday we get a call and say, "Hey, come in, let's go over your finances," and then everything changes. You got no money problems at all, and then you have to contemplate like, why was I just sitting there? And those are the things that you heal about yourself. Those are the parts of you that you can grow about yourself. And see like, oh, well, I could have been more time present. I could have been, but then one thing I've noticed is it's almost like you just got to forgive yourself for not being perfect. It's like, really, what would I be doing? Am I going to go out and play fetch with the dogs? Am I going to watch another show? Am I going to crochet a sock? Like, what would I be doing? I mean, you're doing what you're doing just so you can like reevaluate yourself all the time, so you can look at yourself. So when you do notice that you do things that you think, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that. Man, I sat there all day stressing out about this when I didn't need to. Because this is something that's common. People stress out about things all the time that they don't really need to, but that feels like you need to. And so then that part, it's just to let it go, just recognize it, and then just use it as kind of a tool to remind yourself to be more present, and to, because that's what I do, is just trying to remind myself. It's like, okay, you sit here and spending all this time worrying about something that you don't need to worry about, because it's going to all work the way it's supposed to work. It's going to go exactly how it's going to go. It's going to work out exactly how it's supposed to work out. There's nothing that you need to do. It's like you can sit here and stress and stress and stress and try and figure it out, but what really are you doing? You're just you're just feeding the archons, really. Like, you're just putting stress out there into the world, when we need to really learn how to not stress. To learn, that's the evolution, is to manage your emotions better, to be more present, to be in the here and now, to not just be so consumed by the energy and the emotions and let it take over to where you just get lost. So anyways, but a lot of it is just, it's like a battle of the words. It's like you playing both sides. And, you go over this way, and then you pull yourself back, and then you go this way, and then you go back, and then you go back. It's just like this, and that can drive some people crazy. It can drive me crazy at times. Like, you're just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But, like I've been doing this since I was 3 years old. When it was like, put the soap in the water, don't put the soap in the water, put the soap in the water, don't put the soap in the water. It's like the little girl, that does remind me, the little girl with the Barbie. Paint her blue, don't paint her blue. Paint her blue, don't paint her blue. It's like, it just is, and you do have this energy that is constantly just feeding into the turmoil inside of you, because it loves it and feeds off of it. But we may be feeding the bees, but we can also learn from it. And we can find ourselves more calm and figure out how to calm ourselves more and to get more in the mindset of everything's going to work the way it's supposed to work. We don't need to stress out. We don't need to be constantly feeling like we need to save everything. And then back on, trying to save the world and stuff like that. Sometimes we just got to, sometimes you just got to let things blow up, when we're at this time where the world has just got to blow itself up to get the people to stop what they're doing and to start considering life to be different than how we're living, because this is no way to live. This is it is like the snake consuming its own tail, and it's got to stop. The lack of compassion, the self-indulgent, the ego-driven, the arrogance, the hatefulness, the division, the revenge. It's like all of these really negative, toxic things when we need to go into this other of love, unity, forgiveness, acceptance, relaxation, reflection. Think about yourself. Think about the things that you do and how you could do better. When we get into a world like that, where we're all trying to be the best people we can be, it's going to be a different world. When we have respect and compassion for everything that's alive, and we stop thinking that it's just in our way or something. I'm guilty of it as anybody. I tried to outsmart the bees yesterday, so I put some honey in a yogurt dish and I put it outside of the door. All it did was bring more bees, and they still decided they needed to come in here. It's like, motherfucker, like I gotta figure out something better. But anyways, I thought it would lure the bees out, but instead just brought more bees. And every time I would go out there, it was just fucking swarms of bees. It's like, shit. So this morning I'm going to put honey in the yogurt dish, only I'm going to move it further away so that they go further out that way. Hopefully just stay away from up here. But man, they are desperate right now for food. It must be, I don't know, because when it's cold, so they're not out early in the morning because it's cold. And then it's cold in the evening, so they only have a few hours where they're out there trying to eat. It's like, when do they go into their hives and stay in? Like, I don't know. Everything's weird. Everything's just weird to me right now. And the energy's weird. And I just feel like we've got to be building up to this big switch over. And hopefully, there's no telling. There's just no telling. Is it going to be an invasion? Is it going to be the collapse? Is it going to be WW3? Everything still seems like it's just out there, just going, it's just all this juggling. It's like, oh, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? But I'll tell you what needs to happen next is we just need to focus on ourselves. Like, you can watch. We need to watch. We need to be aware. You can't just bury your head in the sand and then think that you're doing good. That's what a huge amount of people thought was the best way to go through this. And you're not growing or learning from anything. You have to be growing and learning from the situation. That's why we're here. So, anyways, let's see how my hair's growing. We're learning from that. I just feel like, oh man, this med bed thing, everything will be fine. Once we get into these med beds, it's going to be so much better. I just hope that it is like getting into these med beds and getting new money, just starting to live like a better life, a better world. And then whatever the people have to face, because whatever, they can all be healing, and then whoever can't heal will all separate. They'll go back into more healing vibrations, and the rest of us will go into creation vibrations. So, I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out. I don't know. So, I'm just going to keep focusing on what I want for my life and what, and I did spend hours and hours and hours looking at these modular manufactured homes or something. But it seems like some are like these builders that have like set things. Like they have these set blueprints. They've got all of the schematic. They got everything they need for this, and they'll come and put it up. Because there's some cool ones. So, anyways, if the that's the thing, is if the money comes in soon, that's what my thing. Well, I think no matter when it comes, my money's going to be going on trying to get a home. Once I get a home and a house to live in, then I'm going to start expanding out into the yard, and then making, building community roots and stuff like that. Once I have like a kind of a structured kind of community where it is like I could leave and I know, Sue next door will come over and feed my chickens and goats and stuff, and I could leave, then I'm going to get them. I'm not going to get them and then get myself consumed by, oh my God, now what do I do? I've got all these animals and I can't do anything. Because right now, I can still drive around with my dogs in the car. And so that's another thing too. It's like you do some things and then it kind of changes your whole life into, I don't know. I just feel like it, I don't know. This whole thing with the dogs, and there's more dogs and all the people freaking out and, here, you gotta foster, you gotta get these dogs, you gotta get these dogs. It's like, yeah, I wish we could all rescue all the dogs. I wish everybody would just step in. Everybody would just step in and we'd all get the dogs. But, I think it's just that there's a lot of dogs here to teach us, to be better humans. It's, and to teach us the system is going to just, murder and take and feedback, and until we say no. We don't like how that's going. We don't want it to be that way. We want something different. We don't want kill shelters. Like, how did we ever accept that? And then there's always this misspending of grant money. There's always this grant money going here, grant money going there. All it is shown, the DOGE, is all it's misspending. And they just create weirdo fucking grants, just like what these people right now who are saying, well, we'll stop the shutdown, just give us this money. It's like, it's just showing more and more. It's like, it's ridiculous. So, anyways, but it's all to show us, where the holes are, why we need to do better. And that's the biggest thing, is we all need to do better. We need to do better as humans. We need to do better as living beings. So it's time for change, and whatever has to fall apart to ignite the change inside of us is what has to fall apart. It's the whole destiny. It's the way it's going to happen. It's the way it's going to happen. So anyways, but as it's happening, as it's happening in the micro macro of everything, you need to get the focus on you and what you can do to become a better person. And guaranteed, the big hole in most people's lives is because they don't love themselves enough. So you got to learn. You got to learn by healing yourself. You got to learn how to love yourself. Learn how to accept yourself. Learn how to forgive yourself. And in that process of going through all that, that is how you can learn how to love yourself. To be like, yeah, I'm pretty cool. I'm not perfect, but I'm pretty cool. And I like myself. And if you don't like me, then you don't need to be in my space. Like, this is my space, and you can go somewhere else. I don't have to change to get you to like me. I don't have to be somebody different to get you to like me. And so, as long as you like yourself. But we have lots and lots of people out there who don't like themselves, and they're just trying to find somebody to like them so that they can feel good about themselves. But we're going about it all backwards, because the main thing is learning how to love yourself, then learning how to love everybody, and learning how to have the day you want to have through all the turmoil. Learn how to focus where you want your attention at, and focus where you, and I'm going to focus on, what I want for my life. Even if it seems like it's completely insane to everybody else, when we're got all these issues, you want to try and figure out what you want for yourself. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So that's what I'm going to do. And we'll see what this day brings us. We can hope it brings us emails that says, come on in, let's talk about your money situation. But anyways, until whatever happens, we'll see what happens today, and then we'll talk about it tomorrow. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.